Welcome back, everybody. I'm Mrs. K, and on behalf of the entire admin team, welcome back to another really wonderful school year. We're excited to have you back. Believe it or not, the building is kind of lonely and quiet without you, so it's great to see all of you. You're seeing this video for the first time on Tuesday, so day 2 of school, and it is an introduction of a series of videos we're going to be doing this first quarter during Flex Block called Panther Bites. And the idea is that there's tons of stuff we want to share with you guys over the course of the year, and we just never have enough time. So we're putting together a series of things. Again, I hope really pertinent information for you. You're going to feel that way at the end of all of this to share throughout the course of the year. The first week of school, no big surprise. There's a focus on rules and procedures and that kind of thing. And there's some things that I absolutely have to tell you because it's legally required that I do. Other things that our SCA is going to help me out with. But for now, welcome back, and I'll see you again soon.
Hi, I'm Carrie Lutkins, your SCA president here at Potomac Falls High School.
Hi, I'm Troy Hooper. I'm the SCA student liaison.
We're here to inform you about the expectations that here at Potomac Falls that each of us needs to follow in order to make this year at Potomac Falls a great one. Hopefully you will find these videos entertaining, but most of all, we hope that you will walk away with a better understanding of your responsibilities as a student here at Potomac Falls.
Your dress code is in the front pages of your agenda. Please read them to make sure that you dress appropriately for school.
Here's our first video clip about dress code.
I know I should have listened to the dress code, but I look good, don't I?
I look really sassy.
How's it going? Oh crap! This year, you are now able to use your mobile devices during class changes and during your lunch shifts only.
They should be turned off and put away at all other times during the school day.
Please enjoy another video.
I know I can text in the hallway and the cafeteria now, but I'm still going to text in my classroom.
Alright guys, so like I said, there are a few rules every year that I'm legally required to ensure that an administrator talks to you about, so that's what we're going to do in this segment. In the past, we've done it in the big class meetings at the start of the year, but starting this time, we're going to do it here this afternoon over the Flex video during Panther Bite. So, a couple of quick things. First of all, I'm hoping all of you have your agenda with you right now in your Flex block. If you do, go ahead and take it out. Okay. If you open your agenda and you look in the front, where you usually keep your name and that type of thing, there's a new segment there called serial number. It's a space for you to write down the serial numbers of any of the electronic devices you're bringing to school. Every year we have kids who lose items or have things stolen, and it's really difficult for us to track it down if you don't have a serial number. So I'm going to suggest that you take out any electronic device you have with you right now and take the time to document the serial number on your agenda. If you do that, and then later in the year something unfortunate happens, like you lose it, if you can give that number to Mr. Courtwright because it's written right in your agenda, we have a much better chance of recovering it for you. So go ahead and do that now while you listen closely to the rest of this part of the segment. The other two things that I have to convey to you, because we really want to make sure it's clear and there are no questions, are our screamers. You guys got these yesterday in your back to school packets. One of the screamers, the pink one, is on drugs and alcohol, and then this lime-colored one is on weapons. If you've been in Loudoun County schools for a long time, you hear this every single year, but we say it very clearly every year because these are the things that can really have a detrimental effect on your education. So let's start with drugs and alcohol. Essentially, the gist of this screamer is that there are very specific Loudoun County Public School guidelines about drugs and alcohol on campus, right? You guys know that. It includes being under the influence of any of those substances. It includes being in possession of any of those substances, or anything that you would use to distribute those substances, or anything that you would use to use, i.e. paraphernalia of those substances. It also includes, of course, distribution of any of those things. All of those things are going to get you in really serious trouble. You guys know it, right? The school board policy on drugs specifically is very clear. The first infraction of possession or use on school grounds or anything of that nature is an automatic 10-day suspension and 30 days at the program at Douglas School. I don't have a choice about that, you guys. If you do it, that's what happens. If you have an incident of distribution on our campuses, anywhere Loudoun County Public School campuses, it's automatic recommendation for expulsion. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what your grades are, how many great things you do all the time, etc. It's a very clear rule, and there is no rather flexibility. So if that happens, that's the response that we have to give you, okay? So I can't implore you enough to ensure that you don't do that you don't come under the influence to school, and that obviously, most importantly, you're not using any substances like that, whether you're at school or not. You all know the safety drill. I'm not going to go into that here. So that's what the Peak Screamer is about. Make sure you pay close attention to it. And sadly, I'm sure you've all heard stories about students who heard this drill before and they did something anyway because they thought they wouldn't get caught. In the end, you take that risk, and when you do get caught, that's what happens. Moving on to the lime green screamer and weapons. Again, something you guys are very familiar with, but I have to reiterate by legal requisites at the start of every school year. Weapons get a little bit tricky for folks because sometimes you just make assumptions about what is and what isn't. So I'm going to tell you very clearly this. Always assume it is. If you have any question in your mind about whether or not something could be included in the weapons policy, don't bring it to school. Come ask one of us. I had examples last year of students who needed to bring something for a project or for a drama presentation or something, and they were astute enough to come to an administrator and say, hey, I need to bring this. Is that okay? And what should I do to bring it to school? That keeps you out of trouble. If you have a question, ask, okay? Make sure. But essentially, any kind of weapon or device with a long blade, anything that can be used as a weapon, so even if it's not designed as a weapon, if it's used as a weapon at school in a fight or something like that, it falls under the weapons policy. Probably the biggest mistake we see students make, there are two. The first one, and this goes with weapons and it also goes with drug and alcohol, is having something in your backpack or on your person or in your car in the parking lot or something like that and forgetting it's there because you didn't clean things out after the weekend, right? So let's say you went on a camping trip with your parent or somebody else this weekend and you had a hunting knife in your backpack and you didn't clean your backpack out before you came to school and you brought the knife to school, right? That's a problem with the weapons violation. So that's one of the big things. The other big thing that people tend to find as a mistake is assuming that something is small enough that it doesn't count. Anything with a blade counts. It doesn't matter how long the blade is. So the little tiny pocket knives that you can even buy at Claire's that are sparkly and purpley and cute and they look pretty, those are a weapons violation. If you bring that to school, you're in violation of the policy. And that policy is also very strict, you guys. It says that you have to leave school and be suspended for a long period of time, usually a minimum of 30 days. It depends on the circumstances, but usually a minimum of 30 days. So again, when in doubt, ask someone. Now here's the one exception to that rule. If you accidentally bring something to school and you discover it when you arrive or at some point during the school day, the moment you discover it, take it to the closest adult. If you do that, that is your best chance at not ending up with a suspension. It really is your best chance. If you take it out of your backpack, see it, panic, stuff it back in there, and try to hide it for the rest of the day, but somebody else saw you do it and they report it, you're going to end up suspended from school. See what I'm saying? I need you to trust me on this one. As soon as you realize you have something that could fall under the weapons policy, take it to the nearest adult, explain to them you just discovered it and didn't realize you had it. They will bring it to us and we'll handle it. And yes, I can tell you we had situations even last year where that occurred and students did not get suspended. Unfortunately, we also had situations where students did bring something by accident, didn't tell anyone, somebody else saw it, and then we had to suspend them because they didn't tell us about it. So the most important thing I think is communication. Default to assuming it could be a weapon if you're not sure, and come talk to us and ask if you have a question. All right, that's it for the rule stuff. The great thing is there are a ton of other rules things that we have to cover this first week. The SCA's, like I said, partnered up with me this week, and I want to shout out to them and thank them for that. You're going to see more information from them, hopefully in a more entertaining way that I could do it for you as they finish reviewing the rules and procedures with us.